A big hello to all my students. You are my small bacha log of all the children I am teaching. You are the youngest in age, class 10 students upgoing, going to appear in board exam for the first time. So my heart reaches out to you. So very good morning, a very good hello to everyone, and welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my class. We had started class 10 ka biology. That started with chapter 6, that is life processes, and this is a third lecture on that topic. What all have we covered? मैंने आपको पहले ये बता दिया है what are life processes. Then I have taught you that the first life process is nutrition. So we started with plant nutrition. We did up to the process of photosynthesis. The topics that we are going to cover today in plant nutrition is the site of photosynthesis, where does photosynthesis take place, then the structure and function of stomata and factors affecting photosynthesis or the raw materials required for photosynthesis. Once we do this, we will be over with plant nutrition portion. Then we will move to animal nutrition, but let's start with the topic, this topic today, that is the site of photosynthesis, and then move ahead in the chapter. So the moment I say what is the site for photosynthesis, the thing that comes to our mind is the green parts of the plant. Photosynthesis kahan hota hai? In the green parts of the plant. So normally what does the green parts constitute of? It is the leaf. Leaf is the most prominent and obvious green part of the plant. But many plants, their stem is also green in color. You must have observed in rose plant, their stem is green in color. So any part of the plant which is green in color will do photosynthesis. But the most predominant part of the plant is the leaf. Right? So this is a leaf. So now let us try to find out that within the leaf, where does photosynthesis actually take place. Okay. So if we look at the structure of a leaf, we will find that the leaf का 3 dimension अगर हम लोग structure देखते हैं. So this is the upper epidermis, this is the lower epidermis, and this is the mesophyll. All the labelings I will draw it one by one, and I will also let you know. So just look at this. If this is your leaf, if this is a leaf, so this upper surface of the leaf is called as the upper epidermis, the lower part is called as the lower epidermis, and this thickness of the leaf, this is called as mesophyll. You cannot imagine, but there are so many cells in this middle part. So this part is called as your mesophyll. So as you can see, I have labeled this as upper epidermis, this as lower epidermis, and the middle part of the leaf I have labeled as mesophyll. Now I want to tell you a few things about each part. The first part about which I told you is the upper epidermis. Now you can see here that the upper epidermis is normally made up of a single layer of cells. You must have also noticed, one, that the cells are single layer. Second, you must have noticed that there is no intercellular space. There is no space between the cells. They are all tightly packed. So intercellular space is absent. Intercellular, that means they are tightly packed. Space is absent, that means they are all tightly packed. Third, you must have noticed, I don't know whether you know or not, both the epidermis, this upper epidermis and the lower epidermis, they are covered by a layer of wax, and this waxy layer is called as cuticle. This waxy layer is called as cuticle, and this cuticle is present in both upper and lower epidermis. I'll show you this. Say if we consider this as a leaf, let me come a little closer. If this we consider as a leaf, you know that this is the upper epidermis, this is the lower epidermis, and both the epidermis, they are covered by a layer of wax. This waxy layer which is found in upper epidermis and lower epidermis, this is called as cuticle. Now why is the leaf covered with a waxy layer? This is because the leaf is the most expanded part of the plant, and it has minute apertures called as stomata, because it needs stomata to take in carbon dioxide. एक तो बहुत चौड़ा है, ठीक है, most expanded part है. उसके अलावा बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे apertures है called as stomata. So it has a tendency to lose water, right? So it is covered by a layer called as this waxy layer cuticle. Cuticle minimizes the water loss. As a result, now the water loss can take place only through those apertures called as stomata. The other surfaces, the part of the surface is at least safe and secure. So you can see it has upper epidermis, lower epidermis, both of them. They have cuticle. So we were just talking about epidermis. Epidermis is normally made up of a single layer. Here also it is single layer. Here also it is single layer. You find that the intercellular space is absent. They are tightly packed, and normally they are covered by a waxy cuticle, both upper and lower epidermis. Now if you cover a layer of wax across, how will the plant take CO2? So it has minute apertures in between this epidermis, which is known as stomata, and it is through this stomata that the gases exchange actually takes place. But as gases exchange is taking place, even water is lost through the stomata. The leaves have more stomata on the lower epidermis than the upper epidermis. Why? Because the upper epidermis of the leaf, if you look at this leaf like this, the upper epidermis being in contact with the sun, directly being in contact with sun, obviously it will have more tendency to lose water than the lower epidermis. तो इसके लिए होता क्या है कि हमने स्टोमाटा ज़्यादा नीचे की तरफ बनाया है क्योंकि इसको डायरेक्ट सनलाइट या धूप कम मिलती है. So there is more stomata on the lower surface than on the upper surface. नीचे के surface में रखने से एक तो water का loss कम होता है and हमें तो स्टोमाटा रखना ही था CO2 लेने के लिए. So this is how the leaf looks like. So right now what we are studying is the site of photosynthesis. Where does photosynthesis take place? So I told you photosynthesis takes place in the green parts of the plant. So let us quickly go back to see what I have been teaching you right now. Where does this photosynthesis take place? It takes place in the green parts of the plant, preferably leaves. Now what is the structure of a leaf? Each leaf is covered by an upper epidermis and a lower epidermis, and the middle part of the leaf is called as mesophyll. I want to explain you this word as well. Meso means middle and fill in biology means leaf. Meso means middle and fill in biology means leaf. Right? For example, I'll give you a word. You have a word called chlorophyll. Right? So as I told you, fill means leaf. I just now told you, fill means leaf and chloro means green. So the green pigment which is present in the leaf, this is called as chlorophyll. So the middle part of the leaf is called as mesophyll. Besides the upper epidermis and the lower epidermis, they are covered by a layer of waxy cuticle, and besides they have minute apertures called as stomata. In this leaf, where does photosynthesis take place? I know that photosynthesis takes place in the leaf, but there is a huge structure. इस पूरे स्ट्रक्चर में फोटोसिंथेसिस कहाँ होता है? Where does exactly photosynthesis take place? So let us see this, understand this with the help of this diagram. This is pretty clearer. This is more clear than the previous one. If you can see, this is the leaf. Okay, I have the leaf is the place where photosynthesis takes place. On the leaf, this is your upper epidermis. This is your lower epidermis, right? And the middle part of the leaf is called as mesophyll. Now if you observe this closely, mesophyll is filled up with the cells. These cells which fill up the mesophyll, this is called as parenchyma. You have heard that parenchyma is a plant tissue. See, so this is parenchyma. Now this is of two types. You will observe that those parenchyma cells which are close to the upper epidermis, they are basically elongated. You must be observing, they are elongated, they do not have intercellular space, and they are found perpendicular to the upper epidermis. Just see this. If this is my upper epidermis, they are found like this. They are found perpendicular to the upper epidermis. They do not have intercellular space. This is called as palisade parenchyma. This is called as palisade parenchyma, right? And this part, these parenchyma cells, you will see they are smaller and they are randomly distributed. Koi idhar hai, koi idhar hai, koi idhar hai, such that it has a lot of air spaces in between this. See, now air spaces are normally present where? Air spaces are present in sponges. So this part of the mesophyll, this part of the mesophyll, we call it as spongy parenchyma, which is not given in this diagram, but I am telling you this is called as spongy parenchyma, right? So we have seen what? If we cut the section of a leaf, the leaf has upper epidermis, lower epidermis, they are covered by waxy cuticle, then they have apertures called as stomata, then the middle part of the leaf is called as mesophyll. The mesophyll is filled up with a type of cell called as parenchyma. This parenchyma is of two types. Those parenchyma cells which are found close to the upper epidermis and they are found perpendicular to the upper epidermis, and those who do not have intercellular spaces, this is called as palisade parenchyma, and those parenchyma cells which are found below it, they are randomly distributed, they have a lot of air spaces between them. These cells are called as spongy parenchyma, and palisade and spongy parenchyma, oh, it is given here. Why did I actually label it? It is given here, right? It is already given here. This is air space. This is called as spongy parenchyma, and this palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma together constitute the mesophyll part of the leaf. See, moreover, the stomata is also visible, but I want to know is where in the leaf does photosynthesis take place. So within the leaf you saw that these are parenchyma cell. Now I am taking out one parenchyma cell. If you can see here, this is your leaf. Within the leaf is this mesophyll layer. Let me first now wipe everything extra so that it can be little clear. So this is the leaf, the middle part of the leaf from here to here. This is called as mesophyll. The mesophyll has parenchyma cell, and if you notice here as well as here, these parenchyma cells, they have abundant green colored organelle called as chloroplast. You see how abundant they are. See how abundant they are. See how abundant they are. So within these cells you can see there are many green colored organelles. These green color organelle is called as chloroplast. This chloroplast consists of grana. This you must have learnt it in class 9. The entire stack is called as grana, and the individual is called as thylakoid, and within this thylakoid is found the precious chlorophyll molecule, which is actually responsible for converting solar energy into chemical energy, that is perform the task of doing photosynthesis. So finally we have found out where does photosynthesis exactly take place. Finally we found out where does it take place. So let us have a quick look once again. Photosynthesis takes place in the green parts of the plant, preferably in the leaf. Leaf mein there is a layer called as mesophyll layer. Mesophyll layers are made of a parenchyma cell. These parenchyma cells, they contain abundant chloroplast. Within the chloroplast is found as chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll is the site where actually photosynthesis, or chloroplast is the site where actually photosynthesis takes place. Now that I am teaching you here, I want to tell you one more thing, and that one more thing is that I told you that it is the mesophyll cells. If I just demarcate it, this is the mesophyll cell, this is the mesophyll cell, this is the mesophyll cell, even this is a mesophyll cell, this is a mesophyll cell which has been cut open. I told that these mesophyll cells, they contain this magic organelle called as chloroplast, within which actually photosynthesis takes place. You can ask me a question. आप मुझसे एक सवाल पूछ सकते हैं कि मैम क्या एपिडर्मिस के पास क्लोरोफिल नहीं होता? Does the chlorophyll epidermis does not possess chlorophyll? I will say no. The epidermis does not have chlorophyll except only one cell called as guard cell. Guard cell जो stomata बनाता है, this is the only cell which has chlorophyll or chloroplast. Other than that, none of the epidermal cells they have chlorophyll. That means the epidermis is colorless. Now, see, this is my leaf. ये leaf का upper epidermis है, lower epidermis है. Now epidermis का color कैसा है? Green. तो आप तो बोलोगे मैम epidermis has chlorophyll, तभी ना आपका green color का है. But this is not the case. I will give you the example with this diary. Suppose this leaf is like this diary is an enlarged view of this leaf. ये diary इस leaf का enlarged view है. So this is upper epidermis, this is lower epidermis. Now upper epidermis आपको कैसा दिख रहा है? Green. तो आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? मैम इसमें chlorophyll है. No, actually thing is not like that. ये जो आपको green layer दिख रहा है वो mesophyll है, because the mesophyll has chlorophyll. And epidermis is like this, cellophane paper. It is basically colorless. It is transparent. तो देखो जब हम इस cellophane को इस कॉपी के ऊपर हम लगा दे रहे हैं तो आपको देखने में कैसा लग रहा है? That the upper layer of the copy is green in color, but actually the upper layer of the copy is not green in color. The upper layer of the copy is transparent. This is the middle part, that is the mesophyll, which is green in color. Similarly is the case of leaf. In case of leaf, this epidermis, upper epidermis, this is actually transparent, and so is lower epidermis transparent, and the green layer that you see, that is actually the mesophyll layer, because as I told you, the epidermis does not contain chlorophyll. Rather, आपको ये question आता है board exam में, the only cell in the epidermis, be it upper or lower, जिसमें chlorophyll या chloroplast पाया जाता है, that is your stomata का जो दो cell होता है, that is called as guard cell. ठीक. So finally we have found out that where does photosynthesis take place. Photosynthesis takes place in the green parts of the plant, in the leaf. Leaf में भी जो आपका बीच वाला part है, that is mesophyll. upper epidermis and lower epidermis colorless होते हैं, they do not have chloroplast. Mesophil में जो cells है, these are called as parenchyma cell. इन cell के अंदर there are chloroplast. The chloroplast contains chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is the pigment responsible for photosynthesis. Another thing I want you to notice here, जो आप आगे की भी डायग्राम में नोटिस करेंगे, that ये जो upper वाला जो mesophil layer है, जिसको हम कहते हैं palisade mesophil or the palisade parenchyma, you will notice here that they contain more chloroplast. They contain more chloroplast, है ना? The chloroplast is dense over here as compared to these spongy mesophil layers. As compared to this, इसमें क्लोरोप्लास्ट कम है, देखो यहाँ 2-3 ही है जबकि यहाँ ज्यादा है. इसका भी कारण है. Why? Because the palisade layer is close, upper epidermis में है, it is close to the sun. This receives more sunlight, so it can do more photosynthesis, so it has more chloroplast. यहाँ तक नीचे जाते तक sunlight यहाँ आएगा बेटा. Sunlight will come here. Let me change the color. The sunlight will come here. The upper layers will receive more sunlight. So obviously they will do more photosynthesis. So they have more chloroplast. Lesser sunlight reaches the spongy mesophil. As a result, they can do less photosynthesis. As a result, they have less chloroplast. So finally, the site of photosynthesis is known. Photosynthesis takes place in the green parts of the plant, especially leaves. कभी mesophil layer में in special organelles called as chloroplast, which contain chlorophyll. It is more abundant in palisade layer than in spongy layer. एक बार now we have जहाँ हमें पता लग गया where does photosynthesis take place, हमारा पहला topic complete हो गया. So now we'll go into the next topic, that is what are the raw materials and what are the factors which govern photosynthesis. Before that, ये diagram को भी एक बार आप देख लो. You can see here I have clearly shown you the palisade and the spongy parenchyma, and we can clearly see that the palisade layers, there are right angles to the upper epidermis. They are closely packed without intercellular spaces, and they contain more chloroplast. They really contain more chloroplast. And the spongy layers, they are quite apart. They are smaller, they are round, and they contain less chloroplast. ठीक है? This is again the structure of a cross section of a leaf. Now coming back to this layer, again once again I have done it, upper epidermis, lower epidermis, and this is the mesophil, and the mesophil contains chloroplast. Now this is the diagram from your NCERT. Now this is a very important diagram. It will also come in your board exams. मेरा ये डायग्राम कैसे बनाया जाए विदाउट मच एफर्ट, इसका एक मैंने वीडियो आज से करीब 9 साल पहले डाला था. इट इज़ वन ऑफ माई बेस्ट सेलर वीडियोस. इट मस्ट हैव मोर देन 30-40,000 व्यूज. अभी 40,000 50,000 भी क्रॉस करेगा होगा, बड़ा बात नहीं है. सो आई विल गिव यू द लिंक बिलो. Please visit that video and see how to make this this diagram, because it is a very important diagram. आपके NCERT में क्या दिया देख लो. They have shown a leaf. In leaf they have shown veins. This is the midrib. These are the veins and veinslet. This is the leaf blade called as lamina. Here veins में they have shown the vascular bundle, that is xylem and phloem. Now a part of the leaf they have enlarged. This is the upper epidermis. This is the lower epidermis, and the middle part here, this is called your mesophil. So see, they have drawn it like this. This is the upper epidermis. This is the lower epidermis, and this part is your mesophil. Now this on top of it you have waxy cuticle. It should have been here as well. Then you have these guard cells, and this aperture is called as stomata. In mesophil they have labeled this chloroplast. Then they have labeled this air spaces as well. Though you can see my video, but quickly I will just tell you. Achha, there is a comment in my video, ma'am, you have not drawn vascular bundle in this diagram. I didn't draw it because I was just drawing the NCERT diagram. Board exam में NCERT का draw करना पड़ता है. Since in your NCERT they have not shown vascular bundle in this diagram, so even I didn't do it. And this is absolutely fine for you as well. So you can quickly make this. This is my upper epidermis, and this is my lower epidermis. In the lower epidermis I have these guard cells which will form stomata. So these are my epidermal cells. I will just quickly do that. Then they are covered by waxy cuticle. So this is my upper epidermis ka cuticle. This is my lower epidermis ka cuticle. Now this I will label as upper epidermis. This I will label as lower epidermis. This I will label as waxy cuticle. This I will label as guard cells. Right, and this aperture I will label as stomata. And I told you guard cells are the only cells in the epidermis which have chloroplast. So I am just drawing the chloroplast. Now this layer in between, the mesophil layer, here it is made up of palisade parenchyma. They are compactly arranged without intercellular spaces, and this is my spongy parenchyma. Right, so it has a lot of spongy air spaces. Now here they have more chloroplast. You can see that they have more chloroplast, that too towards the end. They have more chloroplast. This you can draw it, and they have less chloroplast. Right, now another labeling that you can show here is, this is air spaces. Right, and these are your chloroplast. So this is the diagram that you have to know. It's a very simple diagram, and I'm sure you will all learn this. So with this, finally, the site for photosynthesis, that means where photosynthesis takes place, is over. Now once we have done it, now we will go for the raw materials required for photosynthesis. If you go by raw materials, you will see one of the prominent raw materials is carbon dioxide. Then I require water. Then I require light. Then I require chlorophyll. These are the 4 things I require for photosynthesis. So we'll go one by one. See, for light, carbon dioxide we take it from air through a structure called as stomata. Okay? Water we take it from the soil. Light is abundant. Sunlight to pura sun is free and it is abundant. Chlorophyll I have abundant. मेरे leaf पे बहुत सारा chlorophyll है, so that is not at all a problem, right? So mainly you have to study 2 factors in detail. One is carbon dioxide, and that too not carbon dioxide, but the structure through which the carbon dioxide is taken, that is stomata. That's abundant in the air. That is not also a problem. हवा में बहुत CO2, I will just take it. But to take it, I need some aperture. Why? Because my epidermis is made up of waxy cuticle. So I need some apertures. Apertures called as stomata. So I'll just now teach you stomata. Water, we take it from the soil. Sunlight is abundant. Chlorophyll, we have already discussed right now. Besides this, another thing that is required for photosynthesis is minerals, which we normally do not write in the equation, but it is required. So carbon dioxide से भी ज़्यादा, structure of stomata, and the role of minerals. These 2 things are left, after which the chapter will come to an end. So first let us come that carbon dioxide is one of the major ingredient for photosynthesis, since the glucose ka carbon and oxygen, both of them are given by carbon dioxide. It is abundant in the air, but how to take it? Because the leaf is covered by waxy cuticle. So there is a structure called as stomata, and this stomata helps us take in oxygen, but carbon dioxide, but as we take in carbon dioxide, water is also lost through these apertures. So what is this stomata? Now if you look at this diagram very carefully, you will observe that this is the diagram of the upper epidermis. Now what do I mean by upper epidermis ka diagram? I'll just show you this. Say this diary, it basically say it represents my upper epidermis. I told you, this is my leaf, this is my upper epidermis. So let me consider this as my epidermis. So let this be my upper epidermis and this part be my lower epidermis. Now epidermis क्या चीज का बना हुआ है? It is made up of compactly arranged cells without intercellular spaces. So say this is a cell, say this is a cell. It is just made up of compactly arranged cells, you can see, without intercellular spaces. Epidermis है ना, protective layer है, outermost layer है, ये मेरा पत्ता है. तो obviously यहाँ पर कहीं gap नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि protective layer should be always continuous. इन्हीं में से कुछ epidermal cells, not all, but some epidermal cells, their structure gets modified. So let me show this. This is again an epidermal cell only, but its structure has got little modified as respect to the other. See, I have drawn it with red. ठीक है? This has got modified and बीच-बीच में ऐसा structure आपका बन रहा है. Then this is my epidermis. Then this is my epidermal cell. Then this is my epidermis. Even this is an epidermal cell, right? The epidermis की cells, they are compactly arranged without intercellular spaces, but बीच-बीच में there are these special cells. These cells we call as guard cells, and there is a space between these guard cells. You can see that. I draw it with another color now. Say blue color. I hope you are able to see it. इनके बीच में ये जो space है ना, this space we call it as stomata, through which gases exchange and loss of water takes place. Now whatever I have told you, let me show you with the help of few diagrams. Now if you look at this diagram, you will see that this is a typical epidermal cells. See, it is made up of cells which are compactly arranged without intercellular spaces. See how they are compactly arranged, there is no intercellular space, but some of these cells, they are little modified, they are little kidney shaped, and this is not as clear. I'll show you another diagram. These cells, they are called as actually stomata. Now exactly what is this stomata looks like when we see it in enlarged view. If you see it in enlarged view, you will see this is again epidermis. This is compactly arranged cells, and beach mein you have these special type of cells called as stomata. Let us have a magnified view of the stomata. So you can see it is made up of two cells. Now these two cells, they are called as guard cells, right? These two cells are called as guard cells. Now guard cells, when the guard cells are apart, then a gap is formed. ये मेरा guard cell है. When the guard cells are apart, then a gap is formed. This is called as stoma or stomata. And when they come close to each other, there is no gap. So this gap is not a permanent structure. It is actually a structure formed due to the movement of the guard cell. These two are the guard cells. When the guard cells come close to each other, the stomata is closed. When they are away, then the stomata gets open. So stomata is nothing but it is an aperture formed due to the movement. This is called as stoma, right? This is called as stoma or stomata. This is an aperture formed due to movement of the guard cells. Now if you look at this, if this is your guard cells, this is another guard cell, and this is your the gap called as stoma, then this is surrounded by many epidermal cells. Now these epidermal cells which actually surround the guard cells, these are called as subsidiary cells. These are called as subsidiary cells, right? So let me draw this completely, label it completely here. These two are the guard cells, right? Now this cell is called the subsidiary cell, and in each gap, this is called as stoma or stomata, and this entire structure, let me draw it with black color. This entire structure, this is called as stomatal complex. Okay? And this I will just show you in another diagram as well. Here I just want to show you, see these are the epidermal cells and how beach mein your stomata is found. I am just showing it in large. So these are the epidermal cells and these are your guard cells and this is your subsidiary cells. Now this is the structure I was basically talking about. Each stomata you can see is surrounded by, this gap stomata is surrounded by two cells called as distinctive guard epidermal cells called as guard cells. You can see this guard cells, and then it is written the guard cells are surrounded by epidermal cells. Now these epidermal cells, these are called as subsidiary cells. So you can see this, I have done the labeling over here. So this surrounding cell is the subsidiary cell. This is your guard cell. You can see this guard cell is the only cell which has chloroplast of the epidermis. This is the stomatal aperture, and the entire structure which includes the guard cell, the subsidiary cell and the stomatal aperture, this together is called as stomatal apparatus. See here, this is your guard cell, right? Now this is your subsidiary cells. These are subsidiary cells and this aperture is stomata, and the entire structure is known as stomatal apparatus, right? So now this is, we have learned that this is the structure of stomata, and this stomata when it is open, then what happens? We have gaseous exchange and loss of water when the stomata is open, and when the stomata is closed then there is no gaseous exchange or transport of water or transpiration. So the अगला सवाल उठता है, how does this stomata open and close? ये गार्ड सेल कभी दूर चले जाते हैं, कभी पास चले जाते हैं. How does this opening and closing of stomata exactly or actually take place? So the stomatal movement, how does the stomata open at some time and how does it close at some time? इसके लिए I am going to tell you some things which are not in your NCERT, but it is very important for you to understand. Look at these two guard cells carefully. The guard cell has a typical structure. What? The inner side of the guard cell, just notice the inner wall of the guard cell. ये जो guard cell का अंदर का wall है, look at this which I have colored. The inner wall of the guard cell, right? This is thick and elastic. This is thick and elastic, right? And the outer wall, which you see over here, this wall is thin and elastic. This is thin and elastic. ठीक, now what happens because of this? When I say thin and elastic, what do I mean? जब मैं कहती हूँ कि बाहर का दीवार thin and elastic है, तो what do I mean? आप यहाँ पर भी देखोगे, यहाँ पर भी मैंने जो diagram बनाया है, you will see that this wall I have made it thick and this wall I have made it thin. Here also you can see this wall is thick, it has been shown, and the outer wall is thin. In dicot plant, the guard cell is kidney shape in outline. Their walls are differently thickened. The inner wall are are not thick. Yeah, sorry, it is thick and elastic. Both are thick, but the inner wall is right. I've shown you. The inner wall is thick and elastic. The outer wall is thin and elastic. I told you the outer is thin and elastic. Now, because of this differential thickening, the guard cell is able to open. How? मैं भी आपको एक डायग्राम दिखाती हूँ तो आपको समझ में आएगा. ये जो बाहर वाला दीवार हम कह रहे हैं ना थिन एंड इलास्टिक है, इट इज समथिंग लाइक अ बलून. जब आप बलून में पानी भरते हैं तो बलून का दीवार कैसा है? थिन एंड इलास्टिक है. इसीलिए जब पानी भरते हैं तो बलून का दीवार क्या है? द वॉल ऑफ द बलून इट गोज ऑन एक्सपैंडिंग, it goes on stretching when you fill up water in the balloon. I'll just show you with the help of a diagram. Look at here. I'm filling balloon, water inside the balloon. And because the wall of the balloon is thin and elastic, as I'm filling up the water, what is happening? The wall is basically stretching out. Similarly, the outer wall of the epidermis is just like the wall of a balloon, right? So if you fill water in this guard cell, now hear me carefully. This is my guard cells, right? This is my guard cells. Look at this. How did I say is the outer wall? I said the outer wall is like a balloon. It is thin and elastic. So when you fill water in, and the surrounding cells are called as subsidiary cells. When the subsidiary cells, they pass water in this guard cells, what happened? The outer wall being thin and elastic, it just stretches out like a balloon, right? So let me, just remove the blue part for the time being, so that everything can be very clear to you. So let me complete this diagram like this. Now what did I tell? The moment water enters into this guard cell, this layer of the guard cell will just stretch out like the balloon. It will just stretch out. Similarly, this wall will also stretch out because it is thin and elastic. The inner wall is thick and elastic. So what will happen? This will not stretch like this. Balloon to kya hai? It stretches from all dimensions. Why? Because all the walls are evenly thin. जितना ये थिन है उतना ये थिन है इतना, so it expands on all sides. But इस साइड में क्या है? It is only the outer wall which is thin. Inner wall is thick, right? So what will happen? Only this wall, but this is thick and elastic. So this wall will have a tendency to move inside. This will come here. This will come here. As soon as it comes here, what will happen? This is as soon as it moves like this, what will happen? The stomata will open. What happened? This wall moved, this wall stretched this side. As a result, this pulled this wall as well. As a result, the inner wall went inside and the stomata opened. So when did the stomata open? The stomata opened when water went inside. When water went inside. जब पानी आपका अंदर गया, कहाँ से गया? From the surrounding subsidiary cells. These are my subsidiary cells. So when water moves into the guard cell through these subsidiary cells, the outer wall being thin and elastic, it just expands like a balloon. When it expands like a balloon, since the inner wall is thick and elastic, it is thick, so this will not swell like this. Rather, since it is pushing this side, it will stretch this wall inside. It will stretch this wall inside. As a result, what will happen? This aperture will be created and the stomata will be open. Right? Now look at a reverse situation. Reverse situation में क्या है? This is when the water goes inside. Now when the water will go outside, what will happen? ठीक? When the water goes outside, now let me draw that with green color here. When the water moves out of the guard cell, where? Into the subsidiary cells. Now when this goes, since this wall is elastic, this will fall down. है ना? ये जो ऐसे फूला हुआ है, आप बलून से पानी निकाल दीजिए. What will happen? The wall, this balloon will push itself with pressure. बलून से पानी निकाल दो या हवा निकाल दो, आप देखो प्रेशर से बलून क्या होता है? एकदम छोटा हो जाता है. Similarly, जब आप ये पानी बाहर निकालेंगे, तो ये वाला दीवार तो थिन था ना, this will fall with pressure. This will collapse with pressure. As it collapses with pressure, what will happen? This wall which was like this will suddenly get closed like this. Right? This wall which was like this will suddenly get like this and the stomata will get closed. So see it once again from what I have drawn on this. When water moves inside the guard cell, this layer of the guard cell being elastic, it will absorb water and expand, and this will create a pressure on the inner wall, and this inner wall being thick, this will not bloat out just like the balloon, rather it will succumb to this pressure. इस pressure पर वो घुटने टेक देगा, and as this wall is expanding, it will pull this wall, and this wall will go towards the inside, and this aperture will open and the stomata will open. Now this is my guard cell. As water moves out of the guard cell, now this wall being elastic, it will suddenly collapse, and as it collapses, the pressure will come here and this will get straight and the stomata will get closed. So this is how, this is the aperture through which exchange of carbon dioxide and water takes place, that is stomata, and this is how the stomata opens and closes. So what are the two functions of stomata? First let us see that. This will also come as a question. The two functions of stomata is, first, it is exchange of gases. That means this is the aperture through which exchange of gases, that is, it is this aperture through which oxygen and CO2 exchange takes place. And secondly, the water is lost in the form of vapor, which is called as transpiration. Right? So these are the two functions of stomata, as we can see here. And the stomata ka opening and closing ka, there are 3 points in your NCERT. This will come as a 2 or 3 mark question, and there is also a diagram and open and closed stomata, a very important diagram. Now I am not teaching you how to draw this diagram now. I have a separate video on how to draw open and closed stomata, my bestseller. It must have not less than 1 lakh viewership. It has been so much liked by everyone. I will give you the link. Please go and see there how to draw this diagram effortlessly. जिसको drawing नहीं भी बनाने आता वो भी चुटकियों में बना लेगा इस diagram को. So please go and visit my that video as to how to draw this diagram. This is very important diagram. Please do it. ये आपका बहुत आता है board exam में, school exam में. So how does the stomata open and close? So this is just showing an open stomata and this is showing a closed stomata. This is the inner thick wall, which is thick and elastic. When this wall moves apart, when the wall moves apart like this, the stomata is closed, and when this is comes close to each other, then this is open, and when it comes close, it is closed. You write these 3 points from your NCERT. I'm sure now you will understand. The opening and closing of stomata is actually a function of guard cell. Stomata का खुलना और बंद होना guard cell का function है. When the guard cells, they absorb water. See, I'm showing the direction of water towards the inside. When they absorb water, the guard cells, they swell, and this causes the stomata to open. And when the guard cells lose water, see, when they lose water, what happens? The pore, the guard cells, they shrink. As a result, the pore, it closes. Okay? So with that, we have completed this stomata as well. Now the last thing is, we'll come back to this equation. So we were studying raw materials for photosynthesis. We have already done CO2. We came to know that CO2 is taken from air through structures called as stomata. We studied the structure of stomata, stomatal apparatus, and we also studied how the stomata is open and closed. Now the next thing we need is water. I told you we'll take it from soil, then light and chlorophyll. Light we have abundant, chlorophyll is my own, plant has its own. So only thing we will extra study here is, one thing more, is minerals. So plants also require minerals for photosynthesis. Now only 2 questions will come from this topic. Name some minerals that are absorbed by the plant. That is essential for the process of photosynthesis or for the process of living. You will learn this example. There are 4 minerals given in your NCERT. One is nitrogen, phosphorus, iron and calcium. Again, nitrogen, phosphorus, iron and calcium. Nitrogen, phosphorus, iron and calcium. Right? These are the 4 minerals you will learn. And then you have to study the importance of nitrogen in plants. Right? So what are the various functions of nitrogen in plants? Nitrogen is essential. It is used in synthesis of protein and other compound. You must be knowing that protein is a nitrogen containing compound. In fact, हमारा सबसे ज़्यादा nitrogen का importance हमारे body में है for synthesis of protein. So this is one question that will come. What is the importance of nitrogen? अब सवाल उठता है, how do plants take up nitrogen? Plants take up nitrogen normally from the soil. If this is the root of the plant, normally they take it from the soil, and when they take it from the soil, this nitrogen, they do not take it in the form of nitrogen, rather they convert this nitrogen into nitrites and nitrates, right? Only in this form can plants absorb nitrogen from the soil. So they take it in the form of inorganic nitrites and nitrates, or at times certain organic compounds prepared by the bacteria. Now what is this? You will learn it in higher classes. But still, since it is given in your NCERT, let me tell you about this. We know that nitrogen is one of the most abundant element found in the atmosphere. Atmosphere में nitrogen सबसे ज़्यादा है, approximately 79% है. And all living organisms, including plants and human beings, we all require nitrogen to make protein. जब हम सांस लेते हैं तो with air we take nitrogen. But when we exhale, जब हम सांस छोड़ते हैं, the entire nitrogen is given back to the atmosphere. That means we cannot hold nitrogen in our body. So we are very tensed. Nitrogen is essential to make protein. Protein is important for growth. Air has a lot of nitrogen, but we cannot trap nitrogen. When we inhale, we take nitrogen, but when we exhale, 100% of the nitrogen goes off. So how to get this nitrogen? So we told plants, you somehow get it, I am not bothered. I will eat you and I will get nitrogen. तो हम लोग दाल खाते हैं, दाल वगैरह में क्या है, बहुत प्रोटीन है, प्रोटीन मतलब नाइट्रोजन आपको मिल जाता है। सवाल उठा, प्लांट्स नाइट्रोजन कैसे ले? तो आप बोलोगे मैम प्लांट्स में तो स्टोमाटा होता है ना, दैट्स ग्रेट। सो लेट अस लुक एट अ प्लांट, दिस इज द रूट ऑफ द प्लांट, सो दिस इज द स्टेम ऑफ द प्लांट, एंड लेट अस सी दिस इज द लीफ ऑफ द प्लांट, एंड द लीफ हैज अ लॉट ऑफ अपर्चर्स कॉल्ड एज स्टोमाटा। ना प्लांट के साथ भी हमारे जैसा ही प्रॉब्लम है, द प्लांट कैन टेक नाइट्रोजन थ्रू द स्टोमाटा, बट इट कैन नॉट होल्ड एज अ रिजल्ट, जितना नाइट्रोजन वो लेता है वो पूरा का पूरा छोड़ देता है। अब भाई प्लांट भी नहीं ले पा रहा है, व्हाट शुड वी डू? बट प्लांट हैव एन एडवांटेज। व्हाट एडवांटेज डू प्लांट्स हैव? Plants can also take things through their roots, right? So there is only one living organism on the earth who can directly fix atmospheric nitrogen. You must have learnt it in class 9 as well. We cannot take atmospheric nitrogen. Plants cannot take atmospheric nitrogen directly. There is just one organism on this earth called as bacteria, and that too not all bacteria. Some bacteria, they can take atmospheric nitrogen. They can take nitrogen from the atmosphere. And after taking this nitrogen, this bacteria converts this nitrogen into simple organic compounds, right? So what happens is organic compounds, or what does this bacteria do? This bacteria either, this will convert it into organic compound, or it converts it in the form of nitrites and nitrates, right? Now plants के साथ क्या है? They can take in nitrogen in the form of nitrites and nitrates, or they can take it in the form of organic compound. So once the plant, this is the second form in which bacteria convert it, then the plants take it, and then when we eat plants, we get the nitrogen. So this is how the nitrogen enters into the food chain or the ecosystem. So this is what is written here. Plants take up nitrogen either in the form of inorganic nitrates, right? Either the bacteria has converted into inorganic nitrates, I will take it like this, or they will take it in the form of organic compound which have been prepared by bacteria. They will take it in the form of organic compound which has been prepared by the bacteria. So basically we cannot take atmospheric nitrogen. Plants take the nitrogen, they also cannot take it directly. So they take it from either in the form of nitrites and nitrates into the root, or in the form of organic compound that has been prepared by the bacteria. Okay, animals derive this nitrogen from the plants by eating them. So this is how the nitrogen enters into our body. So one mineral you have to study in detail. There are 3 questions from there. First, what is the importance of nitrogen? It helps to make protein. The second question is, in which form is nitrogen taken by plants? Third, and in which, how do animals they get their nitrogen requirement? See, with this the plant nutrition topic has come to an end, except 3 activities that are given in your NCERT, which I will deal in the next video, and with that this plant nutrition will completely come to an end. Now I will go back to the NCERT to show you what I have taught and from where I have taught, but before that I will quickly summarize what I have taught you today. We were going through plant nutrition. Plant nutrition involves a process called as photosynthesis. What is the balanced equation of photosynthesis and how does photosynthesis take place? I taught you in my previous lecture. Today I taught you first, where does this photosynthesis take place? So I told you in the plant, in the green parts, in the leaf. In the leaf it has epidermis, mesophyll, epidermis. In the mesophyll, where in the mesophyll? In a cell, in a parenchyma cell, which can be either palisade parenchyma or spongy parenchyma. These cells, they contain chloroplast which has chlorophyll, and this is the exact site where photosynthesis takes place. Then I also gave you the structure of a leaf. I told you it is upper epidermis, lower epidermis, cuticle, then stomata. I also taught you why more stomata are found towards the lower surface, then the mesophyll, palisade and spongy, and a lot of air spaces, and they contain chloroplast. Again, very important question, the only epidermal cell which has chloroplast, that is your the only epidermal cell, that is your guard cells. Then we came up to raw materials for photosynthesis. The first was carbon dioxide. How do we take? We take it through stomata. So I taught you the structure of stomata. These are actually specialized. They are formed due to specialized epidermal cells. They are guard cells. Then they are subsidiary cells, and this is the stomata. This is stomatal complex. इसमें गार्ड सेल का स्ट्रक्चर क्या है? इनर वॉल इज थिक एंड इलास्टिक, आउटर थिन एंड इलास्टिक. व्हेन वाटर एंटर्स, गार्ड सेल swell, the stomata opens. When water moves out, it shrinks. As a result, what happens? The stomata closes. So how does the, besides we studied the other function of stomata, exchange of gases and transpiration. Then we came to know about other requirements, that is easy. Then we came to minerals. What are the four more main important minerals? Nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and I think one was calcium or something like that. Just see that. And then we had this function of nitrogen. I told you this is the last slide that we are seeing. What are the functions? Protein, and how do plants take nitrogen and animals take nitrogen, right? So very quickly now we moved into the NCERT. So quickly open page 96 of your NCERT. I start last class, I taught you till here. So we will now start from this side. One, I taught you this diagram. This is a very important diagram. Please learn it by heart. You visit my video to know how to draw it effortlessly, very easy. Now then you will observe, they will see, plants, they need carbon dioxide. First it is about chloroplast, which contains chlorophyll. So this is where photosynthesis takes place. So this paragraph is this. Where does photosynthesis take place? Photosynthesis takes place in the green dots. The green dots are organelles called chloroplast. It is within this chloroplast, there is chlorophyll which is necessary for photosynthesis. There is an activity for this as well. This I will teach you in my next class. Now, second thing that the plants require is stomata, right? Carbon dioxide. Now about carbon dioxide, what is there in your NCERT? See, it is here. Carbon dioxide, as we talked, plant take the carbon dioxide through stomata. These are tiny pores. What is the function of stomata? One, gases exchange, and second, gases exchange, and next, water loss, that is transpiration. Please write an important question over here. What is the function of stomata? I told you one question, that diagram of that leaf. Then second, what is the function of stomata? This is an important question, right? Please write it, and these are the 2 points. What does it, how does the stomata open and close? That is the next question. How does, write a note on opening and closing of stomata. This is a very important question. See here, the opening of the stomata and the closing is a function of guard cell. First point, the guard cells swell when water flows into them, causing it to open. Similarly, it closes when it shrinks. So these are the 3 points you will write for this answer. Next question is, draw the diagram of a stomata and explain its part. So this is your stomatal pore. Now this is your guard cell, and this is subsidiary cells, they have not done, and together these 3 things, it is called as stomatal apparatus. This is very important. The next question that will come is, name the only cell on the epidermis which has chloroplast. This is your guard cell. Okay? So with that we have completed carbon dioxide. Iske alawa, autotrophs also need some minerals. What are the minerals they require? Nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and magnesium. Sorry, it's not calcium, it is magnesium. Then what is the function of nitrogen? It is essential for synthesis of proteins, right? And how do plants, they get their nitrogen? They take up in the form of inorganic form, that is nitrite or nitrate, or in the organic compound prepared by bacteria through atmospheric nitrogen, and humans, we take it from the plants. Okay? So with that we come to an end to today's lecture. As I always say, please quickly see this video once again, go through all the points, try to learn everything from all the diagrams to all the functions to all the question and answers. If you have any doubt, please write it in the comment box, and please express how you like the video by clicking that like button and putting your comments below. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe it and press the bell notification so that you will come to know immediately whenever I upload a video. And share it with your friends so that all of them can be benefited. You're studying like this in a digital form with everything explained. It will be helpful for them as well. So yes, so please do your work. And as I always end my lecture, tab tak we'll meet in the next class. We'll complete the 3 activities. Till then, be happy, be safe, and continue learning. Good luck and goodbye. Thank you.